Hector's a 35-year-old Hispanic male. Hector was seriously injured in an auto accident 5 months ago. He spent 4 months in the hospital. One leg and hip suffered permanent damage. He will probably always need a cane to walk with a limp. He also has limited mobility in his right arm and his shoulder and cannot lift anything heavy. Hector grew up in a family with a construction business. He has always been working in construction since high school. The social worker at the rehabilitation hospital referred to Hector to counseling because he is not adjusting well to his injuries. He is very depressed and angry because he cannot continue to work in his chosen occupation. Hector says, "What use am I now? I'm the man in my family. I should be strong. I need to support my family. I don't want my wife to work. I don't know what I'm going to do to make a living." Hector still experiences severe pain in his shoulder and legs. He spends a lot of time watching TV and drinking alcohol. At this point, he is not looking for work. His family has reached out to him, but he avoids interacting with his siblings and parents because they remind him he can no longer do what he can no longer do. He feels shame when he is around his family members because of his disability. His relationship with his wife is tense because he is often angry and withdrawn. He is not active with his children anymore, and they are worried about him. You are meeting with Hector for the first time, and you want to understand his problem and collaboratively work with him to identify goals to make some changes in his life.
Okay. Hi, Hector. My name is Emily. I am a therapist, mental health counselor. Before we get started today, I just wanted to say thank you for coming in. It takes a lot of bravery, to make the appointment, show up, and take the step to be open. Before we get started, I just want to, make sure you're comfortable with disclosing information. Anything you say in this room, in this session, will be confidential. You're protected by HIPAA laws. I do want to inform you, though, that if you share any information that involves child abuse, elder abuse, domestic violence, anything that involves you hurting someone else or hurting yourself, I am obligated to report that. So I just want to make sure that you have all the information. And before we get started, do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay. So Hector, after reviewing some of your reports and things, it looks like you're in because of a little bit of alcohol usage, family relations, and things. So why don't you highlight a little bit on that with me and what you're exactly experiencing at the moment?
I don't want to do anything.
You don't want to do anything. Okay.
I can't do anything.
Okay. So you started to experience, you said, depression back when you had your accident.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long after that did you start using alcohol?
Immediately.
Okay. Now, in your session, you also said that your wife, she was not working prior to the accident?
No.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more of what your roles were at work, what her roles were in the relationship, and how your family structure worked prior to you hurting yourself?
I brought the money. She took care of the kids. She did everything at the house.
Okay.
How was work?
How was your relationship? What were what was the relationship? You said that it was tense. It's tense now. How was your relationship when it was like that?
I don't do anything because I can't do anything.
No. I'm sorry. How was the relationship before your accident?
What do you think? It was normal. I was happy.
Okay.
I wouldn't be here.
Okay. The Alcohol Use Disorders Identification Test Self-Report version. I administered this audit to you. Are you all right if we go over some of the answers that you gave and provided?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. One of the questions was, how many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you are drinking? You circled around 7 to 9. May I ask, is that alone? Are you going out? When do you usually partake when you're drinking?
Everybody's at school or work.
Okay, so you're at home alone, school or work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you feel like when you start drinking, can you not stop? Or what is the catalyst for drinking that much?
I used to just keep drinking until I fall asleep.
Okay. Okay. Now, it says that were you close with your family, your mom, your father, and your siblings prior to the accident?
Yeah, but I don't talk to them anymore.
Okay. Were they supportive when you had your accident? And were they, there for you and things?
Yeah, they came by the hospital and everything, but whenever they come around, sure to make me know that I'm disabled.
Okay. Can you elaborate more on what their actions or what they say, how they remind you that you are experiencing this issue in your life?
It's just the little comments.
Okay. And
here and there, and then they're like extra helpful. Like, come on, I still know how to fucking walk.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, culturally speaking, do you feel like that you were spending a lot more time with them prior to this? Family gatherings, parties, anything like that, that would be relevant to you feeling that they are just being too helpful and making comments that are not, influencing you in a positive way?
I mean, we always just hang out. Okay. Every Sunday, all the get-togethers, every little party.
May I ask how it feels to not have them part of your daily life, or even have those events going on the weekends now?
It's fine now, I just drink.
Okay. How do you feel when you don't drink?
Like something's missing.
Okay. Now, this last one, it says, has a relative, friend, doctor, or other healthcare worker been concerned about your drinking or suggested you cut down? And you said yes during the last year. Could you possibly elaborate and go into who those people are in your life that are concerned about you and your drinking and kind of where you're at right now?
My family, some of my friends from the construction job.
Okay. Now, we have spoken a lot about the things that aren't going right now, that you're feeling, you're feeling a sense of missing, lack of motivation, things. Do you have anything in your life right now that really is keeping you grounded, that's keeping you hopeful, and that you're holding on to, that gives you purpose? What gives you purpose in life?
I mean, I guess my kids, but I really can't do anything for them. I can't even play with them outside.
Now, prior to the accident, did you have a very active relationship with your children? Playing outside, things? Mm-hmm. Can you give me an example of what some of those activities were?
We go play soccer, we go to the gym, we just, be active. Okay. Even going to the grocery store, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing all that with me. Now, have any conversations taken place with your kids, your family, or your wife about how some of these activities that you used to share to feel connected with them, to change those? And maybe that's a board game night, maybe that's a movie night, the games can, and activities can take on so many different outer roles. Has anything like that been brought up between you and your family?
No, because we're not big on board games.
Okay. How would you feel about just taking them to the park and sharing in times and talking, being outside still, even though it's not the same activity that you used to partake in?
You could try it out.
Okay.
But then it's just like me sitting and watching what I used to do.
Okay. Now, when it comes to work, are you actively looking for work at the moment?
No, because what can I do?
Okay.
I've always been in construction. I don't know anything else.
Okay. Are you open to learning a new trade? Are you open to working something that would be more conducive to what your life is now?
Yeah, but then I need to go to school, learn a new skill. How am I going to do that?
Okay.
My wife doesn't even make that much money.
Okay. With that being said, it looks like you have a lot of information on what's going on in your life. Just wanted to set up some goals, what you are looking to change, any behavior changes, and what you would like for your life.
I don't know, to maybe stop drinking. I need to do something, but I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Can't just sit home and do nothing all day.
Okay. Are there anything that you want to change with any of your familial relationships? Any goals that you would like to have, whether it's with your wife, your children, or your nuclear family with your mom, dad, siblings?
I mean, maybe a more or less healthy relationship with them, but I just need them to be quiet.
And when you say be quiet, may I ask?
Stop reminding me of the injury. Stop trying to help me if I'm doing something.
So you just want them to treat you as if
This never happened.
Okay. Have you shared that with them?
Yeah. They don't understand.
Okay. And when you say they didn't understand, what was their response?
Because they keep doing it. They say okay, and they go right back to doing it.
Okay. And would you be open in the future, part of changing, and having these goals, would you be open to having any of your family members come in for a session and having an open dialogue and discussing these issues?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Last thing, when you said need to be doing something, do you have a idea or goal of what that something looks like for you?
I don't.
No. Okay.
I've only been doing construction.
And when I say do something and like what that looks like for you, it doesn't have to even be in the form of work. It could be simple daily tasks, things that you enjoy that are conducive to what you are capable of doing. Do you have anything of that in mind that you enjoy that brings you a sense of accomplishment, things like that?
No.
Okay.
If I could make money for my family, that would be it.
Okay. Now, in order to build back up to that place where you are the fixer, right? Being in construction, you're building, you're fixing things, you're using your physical strength and capabilities and providing. Are you open to learning new ways to fix and build? Perhaps there are different strengths that we can work together in finding, and skill sets that you have that you maybe you've never had to tap into before because of what your work field was prior.
Yeah, if you can show me.
Okay. All right. So after this first session and talking to you, it sounds like there's a lot of behavioral changes that we would like to change, goals that we want to meet in the future, and how we can discover that for you. Daily tasks and finding out what your strengths are and how to get back to that sense of accomplishment. From what you've shared openly, which thank you for doing that in this session, it sounds like a lot of your confidence and self-worth was connected and still is to the sense of being a provider, being close to your family. And since this has happened, your accident, it sounds like there's been a lot of you're withdrawn, and the people, your support system, that you're saying your purpose of life is to your family. You're withdrawn from that.
Yeah.
And that sounds like that's only increasing the level of wanting to drink and maybe perhaps that missing link. So I would like to set up more sessions and continue to work on this with you. Set little goals, even perhaps have your family come in, have an open dialogue of how they might be feeling that they're helping you and treating you, and how that's affecting your self-esteem, and reminding you more of the fact that you're not working, that you're not who you feel like you used to be, and the things that you were capable of. Okay? And hopefully through changing your relationships, increasing and getting them back to it, hopefully that missing feeling that you're expressing to me that you're feeling with when you're not drinking, hopefully we can help suppress that and change those behaviors and help you make healthier decisions. Before we wrap up, do you have any further questions for me of what the next sessions will look like, what you would like to cover, anything else that you want me to know, before we wrap up?
No, I'll just go to the lobby and tell my wife she's gonna come to the next one.
Okay. And before that, is there anything that your wife that you feel like is doing that's making you, reminding you, making you feel like, constant reminder that things have changed, that you're not working, that you're not who you used to be? Is there anything that in preparation of the next session, and maybe not the next session, I would like to take maybe 2 more sessions of just focusing on you before bringing her in, but definitely that's a major reason why you are here. But is there anything in that dynamic that you really want?
Let's bring her in sooner than later, because there's still the time that's gonna pass before I have to come to the next session. And she should probably hear some of this early so it doesn't fuck up my marriage.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like a goal set for your marriage and your relationship right now that you're not happy with, that you would like to see change in?
I don't want to see her working anymore.
Okay.
And she has to because of me.
Okay. I know gender roles can be pretty solidified, and has there been any discussion between you and her? Maybe you take more responsibilities with the home life, whether that's dishes, whether that's cooking, whether that's shopping, to help relieve some of the stress of that.
No, we never had to talk about it.
Okay. Okay. All right, Hector. Again, want to thank you for being so open and so brave to come in here and taking the steps to make the changes. Just coming in here and discussing this is already on the path to set goals, to make the changes, and hopefully we can work together and I can help give tools on how to cope with all of this, and hopefully help you reconnect with your family. I would like to highlight a lot of the things, the report that I read, the things that you've shared. So your family is a huge part of your life, and your motivation to be better, to do better. And I really feel like focusing on reconnecting and increasing, your relationships with them would help a lot. And so I'd like to focus on that, your familial relationships, perhaps the next session. Some things that we can, some goals we can set out on how you can spend more time with your children. Maybe, right now, your wife not working perhaps is not the number one option at the moment. Not to say that won't happen in the future, but ways, maybe set some ways and goals that you can help support her, that perhaps could help reconnect you and her, and how maybe help you feel like you are contributing to your family. You are helping and supporting. That support just might take a different phase. Okay? All right. Well, again, Hector, I just want to thank you for coming in. And after this, we will set up a date and a time on when we can meet again. Okay?
Thanks, Dr. Lee.
Okay, thank you.